Okay, it's recording. Okay, welcome back. Um, we were talking about, or we want to discuss, uh, nationhood and nation building and exoduses and I think I pronounced it right. Ex- to Exodus. Uh, yeah, just get the conversation going because people aren't talking about it. And so, first question, basically, I'm asking uh, everyone or whoever is listening is, are you for NFAC or are you against NFAC? And are you for an exodus, leaving the country, or are you for staying here? So that's the first question we want to answer and or talk about. So if you're staying here, then uh, you're gonna be, well, let's not talk about what's gonna happen to you because that's not the point of the conversation. What we want to talk about is nationhood and Exodus. So, but I guess that is still part of the conversation. So I will give a quick. So if you are staying here, then you're not part of this conversation. You can go ahead and leave. Uh, you can click on another video right now. Go ahead and please do that. This conversation is not for you. Uh, this is not for you. So I'm giving you guys a chance to leave. Now, if you are for the NFAC, I'd like you to go ahead and stay. I'd like you to hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button and the notification bell so that you can get notified uh, on current affairs, up to date, and we can discuss and talk about. This is where you can come talk to the platform directly, leave questions, and we'll choose and we'll talk about them. So go ahead and do that. And those people who uh, are not for the NFAC, go ahead and leave promptly, please. Uh, so now, if you are for the NFAC, then that means that you are tired of what's going on. And uh, I did a video earlier thinking that I could not help, but thing is, uh, if I don't say what is on my mind, uh, then I'm definitely not helping myself. And I'm not that type of person, and I speak my mind. And so here we are. So in order to build a nation, you basically have to have people. Uh, you don't have to have a lot of people. The requirements vary. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and type in uh, uh, requirements for nationhood. Really simple. You just sign a declaration and present it to the UN, which is, the global police. You know, says we have then four criteria for nationhood criteria development language. Okay. What is a nation? What makes a nation? Yeah, let's do that. That's one of the queries I typed in earlier. Uh, uh, a nation is a stable community of humans formed on the basis of a common language, territory, history, ethnicity, or psychological makeup manifested in a common culture. The nation is more overtly political than an ethnic group. It has been described as a fully mobilized or industrialized ethnic group. Okay, so basically, that's what it is. You need people who speak the same language, uh, and that's pretty much it. Uh, let's see what. Let me go back into my query box because uh, how to nationalize. These are simple things that you can look up and how to form a nation. Let's just do that. Step one, declare independence. So, and it says to establish a new country, the country must first satisfy the international laws, rules that all free countries generally acknowledge and follow set forth by the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States adopted in 1933. So this is something that they drew up, of course, in 1933. And step two says gain recognition. That's step two. Did I say three? Sounds like it. And step three, join the United Nations. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the latter, the last one. I don't think that's actually it. Even though it says it here, let's go ahead and uh, look up this. What was it? Montevideo. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. On the rights and duties of states, which was adopted in 1933. Why didn't it? Oh, I hate that. Okay, let's see where this takes us. Because we're gonna build a nation and we want to do it legally. So far, we have a militia. All right, the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States is a treaty signed at the Montevideo, Uruguay on December 26, 1933 during the 7th International Conference of American States. The convention became operative on December 26, 1934. It was registered in League of Nations Treaty Series on January 8, 1936. So, if you follow these guidelines, and let's go ahead and click into the guidelines, this is how simple it is to form a nation. Nation building, nationhood. But you can't be black. You can't take somebody else's name and claim that you are a nation. Okay, Montevideo. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. I, uh, never mind. Let's just go ahead and copy it and let's search for it. Let's see if it's a pronunciation. Because I'm horrible pronounce uh, with words, and so we'll learn the word together. I don't know everything. I'm sure you feel the same way, right? Oh, I just realized I have another video play in the background. Uh, so is it playing? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's pause this and go back to the how to pronounce. Okay, let's learn how to pronounce this really quickly, guys.
pronouncenames.com.
Or
Montevideo,
oh,
Montevideo,
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 Do we have the correct pronunciation of your name?
Montevideo. Okay, okay. So let's drop that down. Uh, let's go ahead and hit playback on that and go back to Montevideo and continue to learn because apparently you guys just don't want to do this. A few clicks of a button, a few queries, and you're there. A nation. What did I say? 12 hours? It takes less than that. It takes only the signature of the pen. By the time the pen hits the paper and it comes off of the paper, that's the amount of time. That's how I was looking at it. So if you were pondering about my last video, that's how I was looking at it. In that sense, of course, to gather signatures and have people sign it, of course that would take time, more than 12 hours, maybe, maybe not, depends on if everybody set up a time to do that. If they said, hey, in 2 weeks we need to sign this paper, we need 1 million signatures, it could be done in a few hours, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and do the definition. Montevideo Convention, that's Montevideo. So I was not close at all. Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States, done at Montevideo. Okay, the governments represented in the 7th International Conference of American States, wishing to conclude a convention on rights and duties of states, have appointed the following plenipotentiaries. List of plenipotentiaries omitted, who after having exhibited their full powers, which were found to be in good and due order, have agreed upon the following. Article 1 states that the state as a person of international law should possess the following qualifications. So, a state, you form a state. A permanent population. B, a defined territory. C, government. And D, capacity to enter into relations with the other states. So, let's just go over that. And remember, the pronunciation is Montevideo. Oh, am I saying that right? Gosh, I hope I am. Where is it at? It's at the top. Montevideo. Okay. Montevideo. So a permanent population, which you have. We have a population, 45 million, approximately. We don't have to look that up. It's an approximation, give or take. 45 million African Americans, so-called African Americans, who are permanently populated here. Where else can we go? Do we have a place where we can call home? We do actually, but upon repatriation, then that would take place. But this is a permanent population. So let's move on. B, a defined territory. Now that's where the exodus comes in at, right? Okay. I'm smoking a cigarette, so a defined territory. Okay, wherever we can get land. Now nobody has to give us a thing, anything. And no, you don't have to be with the NFAC to do these things. But it would be most wise because they are ahead of the game, and not only that, they are a military structure, and most states and nations need a military. And although it may be in control at the present, if we join and enough people, we have enough administrators, then other systems of government can be employed, and so there you have it. But let's continue to. It says so. We did A, a permanent population; B, a defined territory; and C, government. Government. Okay, so basically what we just said, administration, people who already work in government, or we can elect and do a different system of government, or modify the one that we are presently on right now. It's just simple. Just do what you already, you know, do what you've already been doing. So hold on. So and D, capacity to enter into relations with other states. So uh, you need to have allies, because there is always going to be opposition to you. And if what if somebody wants to invade you? You don't have any uh, allies, but the capacity basically means some infrastructure. Uh, and let's be clear on this. This is a discussion about NFAC. This is my commentary. I do not represent the NFAC, and I am a strong supporter of the NFAC. I do share the same ideals. So now, capacity. Back to D. Capacity to enter into relations with other states. So you just can't be a moron. So it's not just infrastructure. You need to know geopolitics, uh, and how the world operates, basically. So that's if you want to interact with the world. hmm Which is the reason why you're forming a nation, I would think. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to Article 2 because I don't want to. Let's look at the time frame here. I don't want to go over it. I don't want to be too long. 17 minutes. I'm almost at my limit. I'll just make another video to continue it. Article 1. Let's go ahead and Article 2 says the federal state shall constitute a sole person in the eyes of international law. So you can, based on what I'm reading or based on my interpretation, and if I'm wrong, correct me, because when we talk of law, we don't speak English, regular English. This is a language of legalese, and words have different meanings, and so a state can mean something, a soul means something different, person means something different. It's not the connotative language that we use. Let's go ahead and bust open no, that we don't. I don't have enough time. I'll just go into another video for Black's law and definitions. But it says a federal state shall constitute a sole person in the eyes of international law. So you can be one person and be a state, a nation by yourself if you want to, according to what I'm reading, or my interpretation of what I'm reading. Article 3 says the political existence of the state is independent of recognition by the other states. So the political existence of the state is independent of recognition. Nobody's recognizing it as a the political existence. Even before recognition, the state has the right to defend its integrity and independence, to provide for its conservation and prosperity, and consequently to organize itself as it sees fit to legislate upon its interest. administer its services, and to define the jurisdiction and competence of its courts. The exercise of these rights has no other limitation than the exercise of the rights of other states according to international law. It's pretty self-explanatory, although remember, law is legalese, and anything else you read is English. It's regular English. So you want to look up these definitions like soul, SOLE, and person, and state, and just anything that you don't know anything about. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short, and we'll continue. Maybe I should just do a set time frame of about, let's click over and see. I'm at 21 minutes. Okay. I didn't know how long it was gonna take. I don't want to take up a lot of time and be boring. So, yeah, we'll continue on the next episode of Nationhood, Nation Building. Uh, I'm kind of, the reason why I'm saying this is because I really hadn't planned to do this in all actuality. 21, I may as well make it 30 minutes and do 9, or at least complete the articles. They're very short. Okay, well, actually, we'll do a few more and then we'll move into what's next. So, uh, do you buy land? Since you got your population, let's go ahead and go in Article 1 and start to define these. A defined territory, so you need land. Once you have your land, then you know you gotta develop that land. Uh, Either do it yourself or pay somebody to do it for you. And that would require money, capital, work, however you want to look at it. And you would need infrastructure like roads and waterways and, you know, stuff like that, bridges, uh, a a like a capitol building, you know, a diplomatic office or something, a house, a library, a database, a center of statistics. Um, so you would need a defined territory. So we buy that territory, or it's given to us, or now this is for less. This is under the Montevideo Convention on the rights and duties of states. Let's just go back out, and because I don't want to confuse anybody, let's close all of this. We don't need to come back to it. I was just giving you some kind of idea on, okay, how easy it is to do. So yeah, that's basically what this video is about. This is uh Kui uh gosh, she's from Blackset. Gosh, what is her name? I'm like, anyways, she started Blackset, just the business group to help people repatriate. And this is somebody you need to look into. and start thinking about passports, and start thinking about land, and start thinking about development, start thinking about Africa, because guess what? That's where you're going next. You're not going to be here. If you're going to stay here, then you don't need to be listening to this video. You don't need to be trying to understand how easy nation building is when you already have your military structure. Uh, and of course it'll grow. And of course, only thing you need now is a territory. And according to Blacksit, uh, we can, uh, we have all the land we need there. So we'll go into the next episode uh, and maybe talk about her and repatriation, since we know what it takes, and start talking about passports and stuff like that, and getting one, and uh, citizenship, where you want to be, where you want to go, and maybe even talk about some DNA tracing. And so if you want, well, I actually beg you to put a comment in the description down there, because this is what this is about. I don't want to just talk to myself. uh, let's get some conversation going. That's the only thing that we need to be talking about. uh, Voting doesn't matter to you. Why should voting matter to you? What you want to know is the price of the lassie, the dollar over there, and compared to the dollar here, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, solar energy, off-grid living, growing vegetables and animals even. Although veganism is not a requirement, it surely is a highly suggested, or a recommendation of the highest. Because you don't want to load your body with all of that iron, and this is an electromagnetic world. And if you plan to use your pineal gland and any other parts of your chakra and your inner chi, then you're going to need to thin out the starch in the blood that you're eating. Of course, starch is glue and blood is iron, and we know what electricity and iron create, and that's, of course, you need to look into. How much time do we have? Less than a minute and 3 seconds, because I'm just going to do it at 30 minutes and close it. Need to look into veganism and changing your diet, opening your third eye, astral projection, quartz crystals. Oh man, just don't stop learning, really. There's really no purpose, and what the hell would you stop learning for? So our next episode, which I'll probably just crank right up and go right into, we'll go ahead and start talking about repatriation. How do we get there? Can we drive? Can we fly? Can we take a boat? How long does it take? I've never been. So like, subscribe, and share. Remember to hit that bell icon. Talk to you in a minute.